Hello mortals, welcome to another video, another recommendation video for Nevermoreathon, and today it's time for the Fangs. For everybody who doesn't know, the Fangs in Wednesday are based on vampires. So I feel like this is a very vampire horror based theme. That's what we try to do in the bingo board, and that's what I'm gonna try to do with these recommendations. So there's a lot of horror or vampire based stories, but don't you worry, there are still middle grades in here, so there is something for everyone, even if you're vastly spooked out. Also prepare for a lot of correcting the classes, because this actually doesn't fit me. It's my husband and it's way too big for me. So I reckon we're needing to adjust a lot here. First prompt on the bingo board is red on the cover, and for this I chose Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. The Dutch version has a red cover, but there is some kind of special cover that is red in English as well, so we can count. This is there the glasses go, you see. Got this. Home Before Dark is kind of a classic haunted house story. I totally forgot the character's name, but she lived there as a kid, and their parents moved and they said the house is haunted, but she doesn't really believe it, so now their parents are dead. She goes back to the house and she will find out if it's haunted or not. I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorites Riley Sager books. For a book winner than that, I have quite a few actually. Malice in Underland is this really cute middle grade about a vampire, but she encounters all kind of undead creatures in the Underlands. Pretty much every scary creature you can think of lives there, and there are all kinds of mysteries in every single book, and she needs to solve them, and she does this with her ghostly grandpa, and it's so cute, it's so wholesome. So if you don't want to be, if you're not into thrillers or horror, but want to get the vampire vibes but in a cute way, this will work for you. Coraline by Neil Gaiman will also work for this. I loved Coraline, and it's a well-known story, so I don't think I have to explain. But Coraline finds this mirrored world where she has kind of undead parents with button eyes, and it's kind of creepy. So that would definitely count. I'm not sure if this is the translation. I read it in Dutch, but The Fake Vampire was also a cutesy book, middle grade, again, about a vampire. And well, he doesn't really do the job as a vampire. I'm pretty sure he was the one that was allergic to blood. But it could also be Rules for Vampires by Alex Fox. I absolutely love this. There are definitely rules for vampires, and one of them is when they get of age, they need to go on their first hunt. And by Leo, this goes terribly wrong. She can't do it. She doesn't really want to bite people. And it's really bad because she's one of the oldest, most esteemed vampire families, obviously. But she doesn't want to do the hunt, and she, it goes all wrong, and she has to tell her mom, and it's horrible for her, but it was a really good book. And there is a sequel out this year, so you can read both of them. Another great one would be Amelia Fang by Michelle Harrison. Note by Laura Ellen Anderson. She illustrated it herself. This is a low middle grade one, and it has all kind of undead creatures. We follow Amelia Fang, who is obviously a vampire, but she has a yeti best friend. There are ghosts. There, again, pretty much every scary creature, but they are scared of the rainbow world. And I believe it's in 7 or 8 book series. You've done them very, very quickly. They're ideal for Readathon. And they're really, really cute. I highly recommend them. For a book with blood, I recommend Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. There is blood on the cover. There's blood in the book as well, because you can, choose blood on the cover, blood in the title, blood in the book. If there's a scene with blood in it, it will count. But I recommend Just Like Home because this is a thriller I thoroughly enjoyed. I don't know if it's thriller or horror. It was weird, and I loved it. But it's also about this woman who goes back to her childhood home that is built by her serial killer father. But what I didn't know is we actually follow her as a child living with her serial killer father. And that kind of does stuff to, a little girl, obviously. And we explore that for a bit. And that's really interesting to me. So I highly recommend this. Then we have a book set in Europe. This is obviously based on the fact that Dracula is from Romania. So I wanted to do something with that. And the perfect book for that would be Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. This is about Audrey Rose, and she wants to be how do you call the one that dissect what happened to them when people die, because they really dissect the body. I don't know, but at least she's going to this prestigious school in Romania in an old Dracula castle. Vampire lore does play a role in it. It has a cult in it. However, this is the second book in the series, and you should read them in order. The first book is Stalking Jack the Ripper, where Audrey basically solves the mystery of who Jack the Ripper was. This is set in London, so this will also work. But the perfect book would be Hunting for Dracula. I swear, I thought these classes weren't on subscription, but I still get a headache, so they might be. We're gonna need to speed things up, because I don't know how long I can take this. It's really bad. For a book with sabotage, I picked The Last Time I Lied. Emma is back in this camp where she was as a kid, and when she was there as a kid, the rest of her house all disappeared and never returned. They're never found. And she goes back as a teacher. She ends up being in exactly the same house, in the same cabin with a bunch of girls. And they go missing. But the house, and especially Emma, is being sabotaged. She is kind of being framed stuff. Or not framed, but there is a camera in the front of her door without her permission. Somebody, they put pranks and stuff on there. But it's very mean. So it's definitely counts as sabotage. This is my favorite Riley Sager book. So that's why I'm recommending it to you. For a book with elite, it's another Riley Sager book. It's Lock Every Door. This is about all these elite, very rich, sometimes famous people live in this apartment building, and they have these sitters when, an apartment is out of renting. But some of the sitters goes missing. I guess the ending. I guess what was going on. But I did like the setting. It's sort of closed environment stuff, because it's in one building, and I really, really liked it. Read a book when the sun is out. I have to explain, because I typed it wrong. I'm so sorry. I phrased it wrong. What I meant was read the book when there is no sun. So, I was thinking when he's out and out of the way. But when the sun is out, it obviously means when the sun is there. But that was not what I was intended to do. What I intended to do was, as a vampire, you can go in the sun because, you will die. Based on the lore, but mostly you die. So This means you have to read a book not in the sun. You can read in the shade when the sun is actually out and, you read in the sun. You can read inside. You can read in the dark. When there is no sun. That's basically what I meant. Go read at night when there is no sun. But you can do it however you like, as long as you protect your skin and don't get in the sun. You will get this. A new to you author. This is very hard to recommend because I don't know what authors you already read. I hope some books in this video, especially the ones we're getting at now, are maybe a bit more unknown, and therefore the authors are unknown and you haven't read them from them yet. If you need help with this, just send me a private message and we'll figure it out. Again, being on your TBR is kind of the same story. I don't know which book you have been on your TBR for a while. I just don't know. I still need to read the second book from Rules of Vampires. So, that's been there since it's released. That's a while. But I don't know what you still need to read or you have been wanting to read for a while now. So just go pick that book up. Do remember you can triple up. So, if there's a book you have been wanting to read for months and it fit other prompts, double up on this. Unkillable or hard to kill character because vampires are not that easy to kill. But I chose Even Little Things by Matt Shaw for this. I hope this is one of the authors that isn't very known. He does not shy away from trigger warnings though. Most of his books have pretty much every trigger warning, so look them up if you're sensitive. This is also definitely horror. So if you do not want that, don't pick up his books because that's the only thing he writes. There is gore in this. There's every single thing in this. But this specifically one is about possessed children. And I think possessed things are hard to kill anyway. But also, if you need to kill the vessel, you need to kill the child. And that's not easy to do. Mentally. So I think this would count. Also, this book is kindly gifted to me by Rosie. Thank you. I really liked that book. It was really good. It was really creepy. So, I would recommend it. But also, trigger warnings. Favorite trope. So this is, again, kind of harder. Because I'm not sure what your favorite trope is. You could choose anything. Haunting house is a trope. I think vampires is a trope, actually. Closed settings is a trope. Pick whatever you like. I like haunted house stories. And then Nothing But Black and Teeth really works for you. This is a tale based on Japanese folklore. But I don't think it's translated. I think it's already written in English. But it's based on Japanese folklore. And I really like that. So, folklore is a trope. You get the gist. I recommend this one. This was creepy. This is about... There's also a lot of drama in this book. And I didn't really like the drama. Because I'm not a drama girl. Or I don't want drama in my books. But this is about a couple that gets married. And for their honeymoon they're going to this... Or is it... I'm not sure if it's their honeymoon. But it's involved, around their wedding. And they go to this haunted house in Japan, who, with friends, and one of them has organized it, and shit happens. For atmospheric setting, I had to choose Evelyn Jones by Phil Hikes. If you haven't read it already, please do so. This is my favorite spooky middle grade because of the atmospheric setting. Phil Hikes writes his atmosphere so very, very well. You could also use this for prose. His writing is just really, really good. The first one is Evelyn being haunted by a ghost. The second book involved witches. And the third book involves fairies. and the eerie feeling, the eerie setting. That's what he does so well. So I have to put it in there for this. For a beautiful prose, I chose The Sister Who Ate Her Brothers. This book is also gifted by Rosie to me, so thank you again. This is basically gruesome fairy tales from all around the world, and I like the way fairy tales are written. They're, you know, nostalgic to me. So that's why I did it. There were some really gruesome tales in this, and I really liked it. It's also a gorgeous book. It has gorgeous illustrations throughout. It's such a fun book. It's quick, and it would count. I'm so sorry, I have to take it up. I didn't do makeup because I had glasses, but it's not working. I'm sorry. Translated book. I didn't get anything for it. This was also a harder one because I can grab a translated book now, but the books I mostly read are the books that are translated from English to Dutch. That will not work if you can't read Dutch. I read both Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll and Hyde in translation because they're both Dutch. They're originally not written in Dutch. So you can do translation to your own language. You can also do translating from another language to English. But if it was originally not in the language you're reading it, it won't count, basically. A book you know nothing about. Well, that's again, I don't know which books you don't know nothing about. If you just seen the cover and you just know, you know, one thing, that will count. Basically. A cover buy would really, really work well for this one. And then a pre-ordered book. Again, I don't know what you pre-ordered. I do have seen a lot of people asking about this because not everybody pre-orders, and that's totally fine. You can also do the last book you purchased. A new purchase, a new release will count for this. It's basically invented this prompt because, you know, vampires are rich and they have the money to spend, so and to pre-order every single book they want. I get we're not all vampires and that's not how it goes in our world, but you know. So a new purchase will do, a new release will do, an audiobook you just downloaded will do, an ebook you just bought will do, any, you know. If you just download a Kindle Unlimited book, it will count. It's just a reason to read the new ones you really want to read, but feel guilty about because you need to read the rest of the books. No. You need to read that one. That's it. These were all the recommendations for the Fangs. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it still helped you because I feel like I could recommend less books than normal because of the prompts. But I hope it still helped anyway. If you still have questions, leave them down below. If you have more recommendations for the Fangs, leave them down below. And I'll see you in April. Bye, nerds!